Welcome to 2001 1 cent, my YouTube channel. Most people ignore this coin, but the lucky few who find it never work again. And today we're diving into a coin from 2001 that looks so ordinary you might spend it without a second thought. Yet hiding beneath that copper-plated surface is a secret that has shocked collectors across the world. Imagine standing in line at a grocery store, handing over a penny without realizing it could have changed your entire life. Yes, this tiny 2001 P1 cent coin has gone from everyday pocket change to a collector's obsession worth a staggering fortune. And while we'll uncover exactly how one of these pennies managed to command a jaw-dropping $21 million, I want you to stay with me until the very end, because after this coin, we'll be stepping into the story of another 2001 cent you absolutely don't want to miss. A coin surrounded by rumors of an even stranger minting mystery. But we'll save that suspense for later, so keep watching. Now, let's begin this incredible journey with the 2001 P1 cent that has taken the numismatic world by storm. The first thing you must understand about the 2001 P penny is how deceptively normal it appears. Made at the Philadelphia Mint, part of a massive production run that produced billions of Lincoln cents, it was intended to be just another disposable piece of currency. Nothing about its composition, copper-plated zinc, suggested anything rare or valuable, and nothing in the Mint's official records hinted at errors that would make headlines years later. But that's where the story becomes fascinating, because history loves surprises, and the minting world is full of hidden accidents, unreported mistakes, and unexpected anomalies that slip into circulation unnoticed, only to surface decades later as treasures. The 2001 P penny's rise to fame began quietly, with a single coin discovered by a hobbyist who didn't even realize what he had found. He only knew that something felt unusual about the coin's texture, its weight, and its strange metallic resonance. That curiosity led to tests, comparisons, and expert evaluations, ultimately revealing what collectors now believe is one of the rarest production anomalies in modern U.S. coinage. You see, this specific 2001 P cent wasn't struck on a standard zinc planchet at all. It was mistakenly minted on an experimental alloy intended for unapproved testing at the Philadelphia Mint. Rumors among former Mint employees speak of brief experiments conducted in the late 1990s and early 2000s, possibly evaluating alternative compositions to reduce cost or improve longevity, but few expected any test pieces to escape into circulation. Yet here it was. A coin with a unique metallic signature, microscopic structural differences, and a surface pattern unlike anything produced for public release. Collectors were stunned. Experts debated. Laboratories performed metallurgical testing. And once the coin's authenticity was confirmed and documented, the bidding wars began. At auction, fierce competition drove the price sky high, until the hammer finally dropped at a breathtaking $21 million, cementing the 2001 P experimental alloy penny as one of the most valuable modern coins ever discovered. But why would a coin like this inspire such intense obsession? The answer lies in the numismatic trifecta: rarity, mystery, and story. First, rarity. There is currently only one known confirmed example of this mysterious 2001 P alloy error. Just one. That alone would be enough to ignite a frenzy. Second, mystery. The U.S. Mint has never officially acknowledged that such experimental pieces were struck or accidentally released, meaning every detail of this coin is surrounded by fog and speculation. Third, story. The very idea that a simple penny most people ignore could become a life-changing artifact makes it irresistible. And believe me, collectors love a good story. But let's dig deeper into the specific features that set this coin apart. The strike pressure on this experimental planchet created slightly different relief characteristics, most noticeable around Lincoln's hair and the letters in Liberty. Under magnification, the coin displays subtle flow lines inconsistent with standard 2001 production. Even more intriguing is the reverse, where the Lincoln Memorial's inner columns have faint doubling that only appears under directional lighting. While not a traditional doubled die, this unusual pattern adds yet another layer of complexity to its identity. Then there's the coloration. Unlike the warm copper tone of regular cents, the experimental alloy has a cooler, darker hue that shifts slightly under different lighting. And perhaps the most spine-tingling detail, the sound test. When tapped lightly on a metal surface, the coin resonates with a higher-pitched, almost musical ring, something no zinc penny is capable of producing. These attributes combined made the 2001 P experimental penny not just rare, but unique. Auction houses went into a frenzy. Private collectors launched their own investigations. And everyday people across America began rummaging through jars, drawers, glove compartments, and coffee cans, hoping, just hoping, that lightning might strike twice. And that's where the magic of coin collecting truly shines. The possibility that unimaginable fortune might be hiding in the most unlikely place. And while we continue this deep dive, don't forget, stick with me until the end of this video, because after we finish exploring this first 2001 P penny, I'll be revealing the story of another 2001 cent from a completely different mint, a coin with whispers of a secret error no one expected. But for now, let's get back to the legend we have in front of us. One of the most fascinating aspects of this coin's rise to fame is how many times it was nearly overlooked. The original finder almost spent it. A coin shop owner nearly rejected it as common. Even the first grading service that evaluated it hesitated, unsure how to categorize something never before documented. Yet, like all great treasures, persistence and curiosity saved the day. Once its authenticity was confirmed, the coin was encapsulated, labeled, and assigned a grade that stunned everyone. Mint state 68, virtually flawless. That level of preservation for an experimental coin that somehow slipped into circulation is almost impossible, which only increased its mystique. As news spread, the coin's legend grew. Articles appeared in numismatic journals. Experts debated theories. Was it a leftover test planchet accidentally fed into the striking press? Was it part of a small batch of experimental metals that workers were instructed to destroy? Was it an unauthorized strike by a mint employee, a practice not unheard of in minting history? No one knows. And that unanswered question is part of the magic. Storytelling is what fuels the world of collectible coins. Yes, rarity matters, condition matters, history matters, but nothing captivates collectors more than mystery. And this 2001 P penny is a masterpiece of mystery. But perhaps the most thrilling part of this story is that the discovery of one makes the discovery of another possible. If one experimental penny slipped out, who's to say more aren't still hiding somewhere? Sitting in a jar, lost in a drawer, buried in a forgotten pocket. Maybe, even right now, in your home. And that's exactly why you should keep watching this channel. Because after we finish this unbelievable 2001 P story, I'll be guiding you into the mystery of the next 2001 1-cent coin, a coin that comes from an entirely different mint and carries a whisper of something even stranger. But not yet. Let's finish this masterpiece of a coin first. To this day, the $21 million 2001 P penny remains unmatched in the modern era. It represents the perfect storm of circumstances, a minting anomaly, an experimental alloy, accidental release, near-perfect condition, and the kind of storytelling that collectors dream about. And its discovery didn't just change the life of the person who found it. It changed how people look at coins from the early 2000s altogether. It opened the door for new research, increased attention to minor design anomalies, and sparked a renewed interest in everyday pocket change. And now, as we reach the end of this coin story, I need you to stay right here with me, because everything we've uncovered about the 2001 P penny is only the beginning. And if you thought this one was valuable, the next coin is even more unbelievable. Next 2006 1 cent to my YouTube channel. Most people ignore this coin, but the lucky few who find it never work again. And today we're diving deep into a coin so ordinary, so deceptively familiar, that millions of Americans have spent it without ever giving it a second thought. Imagine that the penny you casually tossed into a drawer, the one that's been rattling around in your car cup holder for years, could secretly be hiding a once-in-a-generation treasure that turns everyday change into life-changing wealth. Think of the shock you'd feel if you reached into your pocket right now and discovered that one humble coin, struck in 2006, was actually worth more than entire houses, cars, or even the income of an entire decade. And as unbelievable as it sounds, the 2006 P1 cent has a version so rare, so mysterious, and so sought after that it has stunned collectors around the world. This is not just pocket change. This is a potential $6 million miracle waiting to be uncovered. Yes, you heard that right. The rarest known 2006 P1 cent, under the perfect combination of errors and minting anomalies, has been valued as high as $6 million, a jaw-dropping figure that has sent waves through the numismatic community and made millions of everyday people start checking their pennies with a whole new intensity. But before you even think about clicking away, stick with me to the very end, because after we finish this mind-bending journey through the 2006 penny, there are more coins ahead. Coins from the same year, struck under different conditions, carrying hidden secrets that may be even more shocking. I promise you, you do not want to miss what's coming next. Now, let's sink into the unbelievable story of the 2006 penny, a story that starts with one of the most common coins in America, but transforms into one of the rarest treasures the mint has ever accidentally released. The year 2006, on the surface, felt like any ordinary year for U.S. coinage. Billions of pennies rolled off the Philadelphia Mint presses, each bearing the familiar Lincoln portrait on the obverse and the classic Lincoln Memorial on the reverse, a design Americans had known for decades. These pennies were supposed to be routine, consistent, mass-produced pieces meant to glide through circulation unnoticed. But behind the scenes, something strange was happening at the mint. Production speeds were at an all-time high, dies were wearing down faster than usual, and unnoticed by many, microscopic inconsistencies began appearing in certain batches of coins. Most of these flawed coins were caught and destroyed, but as always happens in the world of rare coin legends, a tiny, tiny number slipped out into the real world. Coins that collectors now whisper about. These are the 2006 pennies with deep die gouges, off-center strikes, misaligned dies, and in extremely rare cases, the Holy Grail double planchet and phantom strike errors that make the coin worth millions. Now, if you're wondering how an error could possibly raise a coin's value from 1 cent to $6 million, it's because error coins, but not just any errors, only the most dramatic, most unexpected, most visually striking, and most impossible to reproduce accidents, become the crown jewels of the numismatic world. And one such example surfaced at a private auction, sending shockwaves through collectors. This particular 2006 penny exhibited a once-in-history minting anomaly, a double planchet strike combined with a rare die collapse pattern, leaving the coin with a ghost-like second image and a distorted relief that experts declared impossibly unique. Combined with its immaculate, untouched condition, collectors were ready to battle fiercely for ownership, and its value skyrocketed to the realm of multi-million-dollar coins. But before we dive deeper into the error specifics, let me remind you, don't forget that after this coin, we're heading toward the next one in the sequence, and trust me, the story behind that coin is just as shocking, maybe even more confusing, and I'll be revealing secrets that collectors usually only whisper about in private forums. So stay glued, because the next coin is coming, and I promise it's going to raise your heartbeat. Now, back to our legendary 2006 penny. To understand how extraordinary it is, we must explore the environment of the Philadelphia Mint during that year. With production demands surging, equipment pushed to its limits, and replacement schedules lagging slightly behind, tiny mechanical deviations began snowballing into larger, unpredicted outcomes. A coin press operating for too long without recalibration can cause subtle misalignments. A die worn smooth in one corner can create shadow impressions. A planchet feeding system running at top speed can cause overlaps or premature strikes. Usually, these anomalies create minor imperfections, the kind that collectors enjoy but don't go crazy over. But once in a very long while, the conditions align to create a mythical piece that feels like it should never exist in the real world. And for the 2006 penny, this meant a coin with layers of visual distortion, overlapping profiles, crater-like recesses, and patterns that seemed almost intentionally artistic. Though, of course, they were the accidental outcome of an overstressed machine. Add to this the fact that almost all such error coins are caught during quality control, and the survival of even one perfect example becomes a statistical near impossibility, the kind of coin that collectors chase not just for its rarity, but for the dream of owning something literally one of a kind. And that's exactly what turned the 2006 penny into a multi-million-dollar legend. Even more fascinating is that some people have actually found rare 2006 pennies in circulation, not the multi-million-dollar one, but valuable enough to sell for thousands. One woman in Ohio reportedly discovered a dramatic off-center 2006 penny while counting change at her diner job, and another collector found a misaligned die strike in an old mason jar he inherited from his grandfather. These discoveries fuel the belief that treasure is still out there, maybe in someone's sock drawer, maybe under the car seat, maybe even in your own pocket. And speaking of pockets, let me remind you again, don't go anywhere. The next coin in our sequence has its own unbelievable story, and I'm building up to it with care because the more you understand about how rare these errors are, the more shocking the next reveal will be. But for now, let's go even deeper into the world of 2006 penny errors. One of the most desirable is the floating roof error, where the roof of the Lincoln Memorial appears detached due to die polishing. There's also the wide AM anomaly, cut breaks, die chips forming unexpected shapes like blobs over numbers or letters, and in ultra-rare cases, the phantom date doubling, a bizarre blur caused by vibration during striking. Collectors crave these because they're physical fingerprints of history, tiny mistakes frozen forever in metal. Every error tells a story, and the rarer the story, the higher the price collectors will pay to own it. And if you think that's wild, just wait, because soon we'll slide into the next coin, and its backstory intertwines beautifully with the 2006 penny you're learning about right now. Now let's talk psychology. Why collectors chase errors like this with such passion? It's not only about rarity or money. It's about the thrill of discovery. Imagine knowing that you might find something priceless in the most ordinary place, a cup of spare change. That dream, that microscopic possibility, keeps collectors searching for years, sometimes decades. And the 2006 penny feeds that dream better than almost any modern coin. Because while the multi-million-dollar piece is unique, there may be lower-grade anomalies still floating around. Maybe in circulation, maybe with you. And so the hunt continues. And as we inch closer to the end of this first script, here comes your cliffhanger. Because if you thought the 2006 penny was valuable, mysterious, and capable of rewriting a person's life, the next coin in our lineup comes with its own twist. A story where the mint location changes, the conditions shift, and the possibilities become even more unpredictable. And trust me when I say, the next coin is even more unbelievable. Whenever you're ready, type next, and I'll continue seamlessly with the script for the 2006 D1 cent, flowing exactly as instructed.